Plaintiff Sharon Youngquist was married to the defendant for 14 years, but she claims they had a sexless marriage because he was impotent. Sharon's suing because she says during an argument while driving in her car, the defendant jumped out of the vehicle and then had her falsely arrested for spousal abuse. Defendant Stephen Youngquist says Sharon never would have stayed with him as long as she did if their marriage was sexless. Stephen claims on the day of the incident, Sharon was hitting him in the car, and then she pushed him out, and that's why she was arrested. He's countersuing for pain and suffering.
All rise. This court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Greg Mathis presiding. You may now be seated.
Start with you.
Okay, well, Your Honor, I've been married to this man. I was married to this man for 14 years. He never divulged that he had sexual impotency before we were married, so we lived a sexless marriage, never having.
So you were married prior to consummation?
Never consummation.
I'm sorry, never any sexual
never. Through the whole marriage.
Prior to marriage. How long did you all date?
It was not long enough. 2 months.
2 months. All right, so you didn't know anything about it, right?
Right.
This is a perfect example of someone not knowing anything about a person before they move in or marry them.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, you didn't know if the man could. Yeah, you didn't know if. I
know.
How could it be? Your Honor, how could it be?
Pardon me?
How could it be?
What?
Your Honor.
I don't know. You have to ask the doctor that.
You have to ask the doctor.
I can help you with your issues.
Why would she stay 1 second with me if we never had any
Well, how long has
relations?
it been?
I beg your pardon, Your Honor?
How long has she been with you?
13 years and 7 months.
Okay.
It's a very long time.
All right. Yeah, she's been doing something. I don't know what it is.
Something happened. There was something going on.
You
I don't know if it wasn't sex. It must have been something
It
good.
was harassment.
all right.
Sharon,
So
state the truth.
He never let go of his ex-wife. He would always run back to her. I don't even think he properly divorced her, to be honest. He divorced in Mexico.
During the 14-year relationship, well, marriage, what was it like? Other than his inability to perform in the way that you desired.
It was harassment. We tried to go to
Over
church.
what?
Over money. He never wanted to pay any bills, and he always wanted
Yeah, you're right.
to
I paid all the bills.
Let
I
her
didn't pay
finish.
any bills. I paid
Sir,
all of them.
let her talk, and then I'll allow you to respond. It was
Yeah.
bills and what else?
He always wanted to grope my girlfriends and my female tenants. I could never have any female roommates.
Did you tell him, girls, don't worry about that. He can't do nothing.
He can't do nothing, yeah.
He can't do a thing.
No problem.
He just ain't got nothing else to
I
do.
give it to you, Your Honor.
He's harmless in that area.
So what must be the problem,
No
Your Honor?
Man. What else other than groping your girlfriend?
Well, he beat me up in the middle of the night for 7 years when we tried to lay next to each other.
What do you mean? You said 4,
Beat
7
you
years?
up?
For 7 years, he laid. We tried to lay to the bed next to each
That's
other.
a long time to lay in bed.
He had orthopedic
Your Honor,
injuries.
she's obviously not telling the truth.
Yeah, let me hear this part, though, sir. This is pretty inflammatory allegation.
Really, fire.
And really, it's tough to believe, ma'am, but I'll let you explain
Well,
that you
often-
said every day
Please
for
do.
7
Off
years.
I'm
and on
almost
for
at the pain.
7
Sir,
years.
I've told you to be quiet.
We
Pardon?
tried to share a
How
bed.
often for 7 years did he beat you in bed?
At least once a week, he would kick me and I'd have a hand go whack across my face in the middle of the night.
You all were in the same bed, though.
In the same bed. That's why we had to
Did it
separate.
ever dawn on you to sleep separate?
We did. We finally did sleep in separate
And it took you
beds.
7 years to determine
Off and
that?
on 7 years.
Pardon me?
Off and on for 7 years we tried to stay in the same bed.
And he intentionally abused you, you believe?
I think he was having orthopedic injuries. I really don't know. It was inner
Well,
hostility.
then you're giving the impression that he intentionally committed spousal abuse against you. That's a pretty inflammatory allegation,
Yes.
as opposed to just, taking up too much his share of the bed.
Right.
And hitting you when he stretches out. He even said he has an orthopedic issue. So, on the one hand, you're making this inflammatory allegation, which is the way you began your comment about being abused in the bed for 7 years. Okay. And then you switch it up and you defend it by saying, well, maybe it was because he has an orthopedic problem. So, ma'am, you're hurting your credibility a little there. But go ahead. What else you want to tell me about the relationship?
He abused Xanax and sold the Xanax, and I had a real problem with that.
All right.
Because he's prescribed 8 milligrams of Xanax a day, and he had to go sell them. So
I don't understand what you mean. He had to
sell them as a secondary income. He wouldn't take them. Sometimes he would, and sometimes he wouldn't. But he mainly sold them.
Okay. Now all this was during the marriage. When did you all divorce?
And it was final day before yesterday.
Okay. Sir, let me allow you to give some background. You were pretty anxious to say something.
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you very much for letting me speak today. Sharon and I met in church in 2003. That's a very long time ago. It was Easter of 2003. We were in the same room and we thought that we fell in love. And
in
guess
2
what?
months.
We never consumed it, she says. How would she be in love for 14 years, 13 years and 7 months if she was not in love and there was no sex? How could that be? I can't see anybody doing that.
I don't know.
Would you say that that's preposterous?
Not being funny, because prior to Viagra, men who had health problems, they could not address it.
What did they do? What did they do?
They stayed with their wife.
Yeah. And something happened?
Yeah, and the wife would stay with them, and they would just, that would have to be irrelevant to the marriage, obviously.
But
because
there must be something
be quiet, sir. That's because she won't give you none. Don't mean that people break up.
Exactly, sir.
Exactly right. Exactly why you
You're
shouldn't
so
break
on the
up.
right spot.
Go ahead, sir.
Let the sex alone. That's what she did, she says.
All right.
Can we talk about...
Tell me about the other parts of the relationship.
Yes,
she says that you would abuse her in bed, but then she kind of backtracked and said it may have been because of your orthopedic challenges. Sometimes I get abused in bed and my wife doesn't have an orthopedic challenge.
And it hurts.
She just sleeps wild sometimes.
Yeah.
I get kicked and bust in the face or whatever the case might be. What do? Go ahead.
Your Honor, I am physically disabled. I had an accident in 1991. Left side of my body is impaired, paralyzed. I couldn't hurt anybody even if I wanted to, and I have never won.
Okay. Tell me why you're suing, ma'am.
Okay. February 2nd, we were driving in my car on Imperial, and he was trying to start a fight with me all day. He said, I need to go to Seal Beach to sell my Xanax to my ex-wife. I said, no, you don't. First of all, you don't need the money. You just got your workman's comp settlement. Second of all, we don't need your wife in our relationship. She always gives him bad ideas of what to do to me when he comes back to me. And third of all, that's illegal. So what does he do? He jumps out of my car. He reaches over on the side of his door and jumps out of my car. I looked to the right of my shoulder and he was walking down Imperial just fine. And then the next thing I know, I'm being arrested for spousal abuse.
Okay. And bail bond and emotional distress. How does he owe you for those things?
Because I was wrongfully arrested. He told the police station I pushed him out. If you sit in my Toyota and I'm supposed to take off my seatbelt, not pay attention to driving, reach over, take off his seatbelt, open his car door and push him out, and he's going to let me while I'm driving? It's impossible. And I'm trying to drive.
Charged?
No, it was dropped. There was no evidence. It was a baloney, I'm driving.
It was a baloney, but yet they made you pay how much in bond?
I bailed out $5,000.
$5,000?
Because they were in my house, clearing my house out while I was in jail.
No, but I guess what I'm saying, it's unusual that when you go before the judge, if it was baloney, that they would charge you $5,000 in bail.
I didn't go before the judge. My
Who
bail
ordered
was
the
set.
bail?
The court did order
Right,
the bail,
and the court is presided over by, either a magistrate or a judge. No one else can give you a bail. The prosecutor cannot establish a bail for you. Your defense attorney cannot establish a bail for you. The court clerk cannot establish a bail for you. They do the typing. The bailiff cannot establish a bail for you.
Okay.
The only person that can do that is the judge or a magistrate.
Your Honor, she is obviously having a problem with telling the truth. Here is the truth. This
What
is
is
my
this?
injuries incurred on February 2nd of 2017. Here is the police report.
Contusion of the head, contusion of the left elbow. Let's see, please. Police report. Okay, this is the police report number, yeah. And it does mention it's classified as a domestic assault.
Your
What
Honor.
happened with the case?
Your Honor, my wife, ex-wife now, Sharon, had been yelling and screaming at me for over 2 hours. We were over at her doctor where she's fetching her medicines, her drugs. She got her drugs. Now we're going back home. And she's yelling and screaming at me. I say, Sharon, I can't do this anymore. You stop hurting me now. And she makes it worse. She's hitting me. I'm disabled. I can't do anything. She pushes me out of the car and she floors the car, you know, when you push the gas pedal to the metal. And she is very far away, very, very fast.
All right, and what was the ultimate disposition of the case in and of itself? Sounds like the case was dismissed
Yes. Yes.
against her.
Yes.
And any other actions involving this or any other previous, perhaps, domestic violence instances?
This is a restraining order posted against Sharon towards me. She hurts me.
This is
No.
January of 16.
Yeah, Your Honor.
Yes.
May I tell you something, please?
About the restraining order, you can.
Yes. Okay. The restraining order he tried to get on me before he had me falsely arrested.
Was it granted? Oh, this was a different
A
instance?
different one. He's tried to do
All
it
right.
4 times.
He's done it 4
to
times?
Get in my house
Okay.
with his ex-wife
Why do you think he's done that?
because he wants my house and he wants
All
to
right,
be
he's
in
trying
there.
to take your house.
And Your Honor,
All right. No,
I
ma'am.
signed-
I'm going to dismiss your claim. I believe him based on the evidence I've been presented, based on the things that you're saying
know.
that I don't believe. Have a good
Honor.
day. Your claim is dismissed. Yours is granted.
Thank you, Your Honor.
It isn't-
The truth shall prevail, he said.
It isn't the truth. You're a liar.
The truth would win.
You're
Victory
a
is
total
won.
liar.
Judge Mathis has judged and ruled correctly. Thank you, Your Honor.
I've known him for 28 years. We were married. He almost died. I'm always the route of escape for him. It was always platonic. I've always come to his rescue. And I'm just happy that he's vindicated and that the abuse is over. Thanks.
The abuse is over.